Welcome to another episode of Opening Pandora's Box Office, where we ask the important questions like, what would be the worst fictional universe to live in?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Heh.
So what are the ground rules? Are we picking full universe, just the world?
It's like where the setting is and the characters are in the show.
Okay, so just a fictional setting. So we can pick just Gotham, but it's
Yeah,
like
well,
still our world.
If you
not
pick
the full
Gotham,
DC
you're
world.
not living in like another part of the world that isn't Gotham. If you pick Gotham, you have to like.
Okay, but can I also pick a full universe?
Yeah, well,
Okay,
you're in
so I
that
just
universe.
picked. I can just pick
you're,
the general
You're
setting.
in the universe, but where are the action's happening in that universe?
Oh, so if I pick Gotham, I'm in the full DC like universe.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. So
Okay.
it's not just I get to be in that city, but in the normal world.
Yeah.
It's you're in the full universe.
So, what I was thinking for my pick for the worst universe is probably the Attack on Titan universe. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all very aware.
Just living in a world where you can get eaten alive by a 20-foot human.
Which side am I on now?
Exactly. Am I in
Am I
Mare?
Marley?
I would say you're in like
In the walls.
the mid class in the walls. Like you're not the
Wait,
worst.
so I'm in an
Rose.
Eldian then.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Wall Rose,
sure.
I guess.
With a horse and buggy.
You're like a farmer or something.
Because like
Are
if
we-
if
or
we're talking, if I'm like a Marleyan,
you could also just be like a commoner. You don't have to be.
Yeah, okay.
well, being a commoner would suck.
Yeah, but also being in a scout regiment would suck.
I think either way it sucks. Really.
I think well, okay. So if we're following, like, you jump into the show, and we drop in like season 2, so Wall Rose has been like Trust has. Is it Trust? Trust.
I didn't watch the shows.
He doesn't know. Anyway, so like that's when that's been breached. So like they're full on being assaulted now. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
It's
So like you're past general like the 100 years of peace, basically what they used to have, and you're just being eaten alive now. Like your chances of being eaten alive are like pretty high.
Yeah, and also, should we pick what time, like in current show or just like?
You can pick. I mean, this is your decision. You're gonna be. You're
if
basically.
if I'm picking for the worst universe, then I'm definitely picking when all the Titans come out and start stomping everybody. That
when
would
like
be,
they. in
when
what part?
the wall Titans like at the end part.
the rumbling.
Yeah, the rumbling, whatever it's called.
Oh no, that's a real bad part. I think that might be
Well,
the
that is
worst.
the worst because that is the end of everything. But
That's the end of like half like most of the world is wiped out in
Yeah.
that.
everything but where the walls were is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Even
No, like
the
all of
town.
everything's gone.
Just the inner city.
No, everything's gone. Everything gets trampled. Because like the Titans that are on the far side of the wall walk over like the
No,
Eldian cities
They
though.
walk in like a spread out position.
Yeah, but they all start. So like the most I feel like obviously there's going to be a bit of the city left, but like most
Well,
of it's gone.
the only part left is the royal part in the very center.
So if I'm not Queen Historia, I'm dead. If I'm not the queen, I'm dead.
So
or on the far side of the
lived
island.
your whole life
Well, I
in
mean,
like
by that
pigsties,
point, most of the
and then you get trampled by
by that
huge
point, most
giants.
Eldians are already dead, and the ones that are left are Scout Regiment or like.
I think it was quite a big
military.
population.
refugees.
There was a lot of.
I think it was quite a big population left. Obviously, not as big as when the show starts. Like when they have like the 3 walls.
Mhm.
Obviously, a lot of them died off. It's a pretty bad universe, especially when the wall. So like, if no matter where you are when the rumbling starts, you have these like 100-meter tall Titans that are super heated, and then there's just thousands of them that just walk across and flatten the entire world.
Even if you're not in the path of like death, that's still gonna affect you. So
everybody is in the
terribly.
path of death. That's the problem, though. Like,
There's so many of them.
like literally just the northern part of Paradine and then the bottom of the other island, of the other mainland. That's all that's left. Because they stop like right at the shore of the bottom of the other continent. So like billions of people are wiped out. That's
so
like
terrible. I wasn't even thinking about this. This is even worse. This is perfect.
You were thinking like just Titans and
yeah,
you're in the
just
walls.
like you're in the walls and you're hiding from the Titans. I kind of forgot about the whole
the entire
rumbling part.
world being
The
wiped
entire
out.
rumbling part. That's terrible.
Yeah, that might be the worst, one of the worst to be in.
You
I mean,
guys,
it's
That's pretty
probably
bad.
like a pretty agonizing for most people.
Traumatizing.
Yeah, but then you also get like, it's also not a quick death. It's not like being snapped away from Thanos. Like it's not just like, oh no, I'm vanishing, or like, oh my planet got destroyed. Like obviously that's pretty instant. This one's like, oh my house has been trampled. I'm stuck. I'm bleeding out. This is pretty bad. Ron, what are you thinking? What's your worst world? What can top the rumbling?
Yeah, what could personally, I think a really bad world to live in would be the One Piece world.
I have something worse,
What?
and I think you're all very aware of the worst universe to live in.
I feel like I'm gonna
What?
say.
The
What could
Warhammer universe.
Oh my!
That is the worst to live in. No matter where you are, there is no good place to live.
I'm gonna
You
guess
live in a hive city of 10 trillion. You have, like, you get kidnapped as a child. Then you get experimented on, turned into a space marine. If not, I mean, that's actually probably the lucky ending. That's probably the good ending, to be honest.
And you have to be-
And that's still awful because you're, like, ripped to shreds and indoctrinated, then, like, cyborgly augmented. But then that's still better than being a guardsman. It's like, either you die of, like, poison, all the terrible things in a hive city. Tyranids come to your planet. That's pretty bad. Orcs. Like, so you're in a war where, like, billions of people die every day.
is this like a Star Wars type universe?
Sort of, but, like, imagine... So there's a billion planets or whatever under mankind's control. And each one of them, they have, like, different roles. So there's hive planets with 10 trillion, like, trillions of people. And they're all just, like, shoved into these big cities. But then there's also, like... They hate Xenos. Like, all the aliens all hate humanity, and they all hate each other. So it's constant war. It's 40,000 years of war.
Oh, that's why it's called Warcade 40,000.
Yeah, it's called Warhammer 40,000 because there's
God.
40,000 years of war. But no matter where you're born, like, either a plague shows up, you didn't bring enough food in this year, you've been wiped out. Or, like, somebody gets corrupted by chaos, and your entire planet is just, like, now being overrun by cultists. Like, you're just mass murdered. It's not good. I think it...
I think being a space marine would be awful as well because you're forced to
You're forced to
work
fight.
under- you're
And then
forced
you, like...
to fight, and you're forced to like pray to this like god emperor.
Yeah, you have to, you gotta obey the emperor. But then, like, you can't be part of any other, like, thing, because they're all terrible. They're all, like, you have to listen to this. Otherwise, I'm gonna murder you. Or, like, Chaos, it's like, maybe, like, you might get off some good ending, but you're being tortured in hell forever. There's nothing good. Maybe, maybe you're on the good side of Slanesh or something.
Is there at least like
There's nothing
a
good.
good percent of people that are like
No. No, nobody's happy. Because, like, there's no actual normal, like, you can't just go into, like, oh, what world do you live on? Oh, the suburbs. They don't exist. You live in a slum. You have to live in a slum. Or you, like, work as a slave on a farm world or something. Nothing is good. And you don't have enough food. You have nothing. It is the worst existence. I can't even say, like,
honestly,
I can't even describe what would a good job be to kind of get out of this. There is no good job.
I've never heard about anything from this game, but that already sounds worse than Attack on Titan, not gonna lie.
That's like awful.
Hayden, what do you think? What do you think is the worst world to live in?
I was gonna say Bloodborne.
See, that's also really bad.
Yeah.
Because you know what would be another bad one? Doom Eternal.
But like
I feel like if you live anywhere in Doom, it's pretty bad.
it's kind of like it's more of like mental torture than it is anything physical. Because
Imagine
can't
you're
really-
in the Bloodborne universe and you're like a regular blue collar worker before like the events of the game. You started like drinking
It was
blood instead
originally-
of booze,
it was like a drug, yeah.
and they drank so much of it they all just turned into beasts.
like, and then eventually these like cosmic horrors come down to the planet, and like everybody, you can't really tell what's real and what's fake anymore. Everybody you love is has turned into a horrible, pustuous,
Disgusting
fleshy,
beast.
hairy
Literally just
monster,
From soft, disgusting
Or-
beast.
I didn't
or
play Bloodborne.
disgusting, bubbly bug insect monsters.
It's pretty bad. That's.
But then there's
People
also,
who
like, the hunters.
inflict insanity on you.
But is there any good to come out of it though?
No.
There's
Not
nothing
at
good.
all.
Like there's literally no positive in.
There is no
now that
recovering.
I'm thinking about it,
No,
it's
no,
just
like-
imagine you're in London, but it's
Oh
somehow-
gosh, no! We're
but it's
already in a bad
somehow
universe.
Even worse.
It's somehow
No.
worse than London.
You're in London, but instead of the people shanking you like they're real people,
maul you to
they're
death.
just
The-
monsters and they maul you to
The
death.
only people left not infected are forced to hunt and kill
the beast.
the beasts in search for a
And also in this universe,
Yeah.
your dreams are real.
yeah.
You
Your
can
dr-
have real nightmares that you can die in your nightmare.
Like if you go to sleep at any point
turns into like a Matrix
and
thing.
all of your dreams and nightmares are lucid. But
and,
they're like
and they still have a strain of reality.
but
Like,
they
you
are
can-
extreme lucid.
And you can enter other people's dreams
can-
as well.
There's just no winning, really.
Actually, that's honestly, like in the Warcade universe, you can the Warhammer universe, you can live in slums and live, right? You can still
Yeah, I mean,
live.
surviving's more
Yeah,
like
You
it.
can survive, but
Try to survive.
you can try to survive. But in the Bloodborne universe,
There's just
you're-
nobody, there's really
there-
nobody
there's-
alive, anyways,
there's-
You're
right?
destined to either
Hunt or get out.
forget everything and just reincarnate as a celestial being or devolve into a mindless, bloodthirsty beast.
Turn into like a mojito
There is no
curse.
other way around it.
JK.
Or you could even end up like Gehrman, which I think would be the worst fate.
infinitely stuck
Because
in a dream.
you have fallen asleep and conjured a dream.
Yeah.
And now you are forced to keep this dream. Like, if you don't keep this dream alive, and
You
around,
die.
You die, and everything
Oh,
about
jeez.
you is erased. No one ever.
will ever hear you, or oh my goodness.
And I don't know. I just feel like
You feel like that's the worst.
I don't feel
I
like I
genuinely,
want to do all that.
I
wasn't
actually
even
might
thinking
agree
about-
that might
I
be the
wasn't even
worst.
thinking about Bloodborne, but that's terrible.
I think any of the Souls games truly are
Honestly,
probably the
even-
worst.
All the
Elden Ring
Dark
would be
Souls
terrible.
universes, everyone's dead. There's
Barely
honestly,
anybody living in any of them.
Dark Souls 3 would be just as bad as Bloodborne. But
There's just nobody alive.
Elden Ring, dude.
Elden Ring is also really
no.
bad.
The Elden Ring, there's more people alive. In
Yeah,
Dark
but you're,
Souls
like,
3, you're cursed to be hollow. Like you're cursed to be a zombie eventually, and eventually the whole universe will just fade into darkness. Like, it probably in your lifetime as well. Like,
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we'll have to wrap it up there. We'll say Bloodborne's probably the worst.
I would
There's no
agree.
good ending. There's no positives,
Bloodborne's the worst.
and it's still probably a scale worse than Warhammer.
Mhm.
Maybe. That's probably to be decided.
Depends what you think.
There's
worse,
more like
physical or mental.
terrible things
Physical or
going
mental.
on,
I mean,
'cause there's more.
Warhammer's also pretty mental. The chaos gets in your head, and then, or somebody gets in your head, and you're probably done for. Okay. On that note, I've been Thomas,
I've been Hayden.
I've been Ron.
And I've been Evan.
and this has been an episode of Opening Pandora's Box. See you next time.